have to be in the background. You have one job, be in the background of my videos. If you are looking for book recommendations, you come to the right place. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Sofia and today I am just going to rant about my top and some of the disappointed reads of 2021. My reading challenge for the year was 30 books. I normally would read only 20. I am not a fast reader. A lot of people always think that I read 100 books each year and that's not it. But this year I read 78 books. I'm gonna go straight ahead and these are some of my favorite reads of this year. They are in no particular ranking, by the way, just let's start with one of the big surprises of 2021, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think everyone has had the From Blood and Ash fever. They become really popular this year and a bunch of people have read them. It was my first book of the year and straight after this one I had to go and pick up the second one and then I waited for the third one. So I read the whole series this year and overall, I really liked it. My hype has kinda died down, but I think if I reread them again, the hype will be back. So From Blood and Ash is a new adult fantasy dark romance where we meet Poppy, our main character, who is this kind of chosen one. No one can see her face, etc. And then she meets this guard called Hawk, which I call Hockey because it's written like these. And ever since I read it, my mind said Hockey, so now it's Hockey. And she meets him and she starts realizing that everything she has been told might not be true. It has vampires, it has werewolves in it, it has all that banter, and not this first one. This one doesn't have much spicy scenes, but the next ones in the series are top notch. Definitely a highlight of my year. One of my big discoveries this year was romance. I have read romance before. I had a huge Colleen Hoover phase in 2018, but I stopped reading romance, and I think everyone, because of book talk and because of social media, has gotten a lot more into romance, and there's quite a few books, romance books in here. And my favorite one of the year was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I read this book 6 times in a year, and I might read it next week just to end up the year, you know. This is an new adult romance. The characters are 18. They don't act like 18 though, but there's spice in the book. There's definitely a spice in this book. The main plot is that these two characters have been sending each other letters since they were in middle grade or something like that, but they don't know who the other person is. They don't know how they look like. And then the boy discovers who she is, but she's a bitch. She's the completely opposite of what she portrays on their letter. He goes and pick on her a little bit. Is it perfection in a book? No. It isn't a masterpiece. Let's all be honest, the writing could be better, but the story, what makes me feel, we are here for that. I completely forgot that this book came out this year. A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. The jump that she made between young adult, new adult, and now adult, we are all here for. This is the 4th book of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Yeah, not everyone, but a lot of people didn't like this sister till we got her POV, and this was life-changing. There were some parts where I was getting bored and there were other parts that too much was happening, and some stupid choices were made in this book. Let's be honest, some really stupid choices, and if you have read it, you know what I mean. Read the trigger warnings if you want to read this installment in the series. You of course have to read the first 3 books first. There's really heavy mental health topics talked in this book, and that was also one of the reasons why I resonated with the character so much. She has such a strong personality, and I myself have a really strong personality. Maybe it doesn't come like that on camera, but I can be really stubborn, and I just resonated with her in a whole other level. I also have a sister, so you know, everything she feels toward her sisters, yeah. The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Burns. This is a young adult thriller mystery, I will say. And it's about this girl that one day she's called and said like, this millionaire has left you all his inheritance, but for you to claim that inheritance you have to live in the house with the other 4 grandsons that he has left nothing for. Yes. House is full of riddles. So this millionaire that we don't know who it is has always been into riddles, and the main girl is so smart, and she just goes into the house and has to kind of find why this man left her everything. I have read both the first and the second book, The Hawthorne Legacy, this year, and both of them are amazing. And also the chapters are super short, so you just fly through it. Also, Jameson for life. Something that all of you are waiting for in this video, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Let's get it out of the way. Not just the book, but the reading experience I had reading this book. I buddy read it with my friend Em, and we were basically reading the same page at the same time. The crazy theories, the way the book is reading is just a masterpiece, and I'm just gonna go and say this might be like, I haven't ranked any of these in any particular order, but this one is on top. Like, if I think of 2021, this comes to my mind. It's a urban fantasy magical realism thingy. We follow these 6 characters that have been chosen to be the guardians of Library of Alexandria, which is a really big library with a lot of books that in the real world it was burned a long time ago, but in this world it still exists. It's just disappeared to keep the knowledge from knowledge hungry people and keep the power contained. So these 6 people are chosen, but only 5 of them will make it, and in the story we just, you know. I also get a lot of questions. These editions are no longer in print because these were self-published, but now she's got a deal with a publisher, and now her signed UK hardcover is for pre-order on Waterstones, which I pre-ordered yesterday. It's awesome. It has like a spread. It's so freaking pretty. So if you want to go and pre-order right now, because this one forever gone. Depending who viewed, Persephone had either been stolen or she had run from Demeter. Either way, she had made herself queen. Continuing with Persephone, Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. The fact that this webcomic is just on a novel format. This webcomic tells you the story of Persephone and Hades, the myth, the Greek myth, but with a little bit of a twist. We are in modern Olympus. Yes, it just, all the Greek gods have a little bit of a twist. We are in more of a modern setting in Olympus, where in the earth it's still like old earth, ancient earth. Read the trigger warnings for this one because it has big sexual assault topics in it. So if you don't want to read about that, keep that in mind. This one is not for you. Make a pause on the favorite books and let's go with the not so favorite books. I have one DNF, which was Lake's Edge. I just read like 100 pages and decided to not read it, so I won't comment on this book. The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which is a retelling of an Agatha Christie book. I'll put it here because I never remember the name. It is set in a wedding in the middle of this island, and someone gets murdered and we have to discover who it was. Turns out it was predictable. It wasn't what I was looking for, and I didn't like any of the characters. It's not bad, it's just if you have read or watched a lot of movies, you might anticipate what is going to happen, basically. So it wasn't worth it for me. Maybe for other people that aren't used to reading thrillers. The Devil's Make 3 by Tori Bovalin. I had so many expectations about this book. It has such a good premise of these 2 kids that work in this library, and one of them wants to find magic to help her mother, who is basically dying, but then the girl kind of unleash a demon from a book, so now they have to work together. They hate each other, by the way. Now they have to work together to just put the devil back into the book. Sounds really good. It wasn't it. I actually just remember a book that I have to talk about, and I haven't actually picked. A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is the shortest book I've read this year, and also one of my favorites. It's a Dracula retelling, and it tells you the story of her first wife and how she got trapped in this really toxic relationship. This was so powerful. Like, I told my friend to read it. She doesn't like fantasy and she was like, oh no, it's about vampires. I don't think the book is about vampires at all. She just chose these retelling format to tell a story that could have been told like in any other couple, but she used the metaphor of like how long it takes for someone to realize how toxic something can be, and where you are excluded from the outside world, where you aren't allowed to speak to anyone, or you don't ask your friends for opinion or your family for opinion. You can get yourself trapped in there. So she just chose the vampire as, I will say, a metaphor, or how it is in real life, because you know, vampires, you have to keep the secret, and a lot of people don't talk about their abusive relationships in real life. So trigger warnings for toxic and abusive relationship, but it's a must read, honestly. It reads so fast and it's so entertaining. I just, yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna go quick with this one because I talked a lot about it. The Puppy War by R.F. Kuang. Amazing Asian history retelling, Chinese story, great characters, one of the best fantasies I've ever read. This is an adult fantasy and I want to read the second and third book next year. Am I leaving the best two for last? Yes. Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed by Mary Maniscalco. And again, these books are in this pile just because of the experience I had reading them. Once again, I read them with M, and this was super entertaining till the end. And then in here we have a few chapters that make the rating go down, but overall I really enjoyed these first two installments in the series. I cannot wait for the next one, which is twin sisters. One of the twin sisters dies and she has to make a deal with one of the princes of hell to discover what happens to her sister. The good thing about this book is that the fantasy, it's a YA enemies to lovers fantasy. The good thing in here is that the story, the fantasy story, is intertwined with like a thriller kind of format where you go like clue by clue to see what happens to one of the twin sisters. And then this one just changes the game. Grath, can I have a Grath in my life? And also Corny Cello Quiz. If Emmy's watching, she knows what's on. As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, the third book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I love the first two, but this one, I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, I really enjoyed it, but that ending was not it. I understand why she did it. I did cry a lot with the book, but I was kind of disappointed at the ending, so I don't know. I won't say it's the worst book I've read this year. It's just I didn't enjoy that part of it, but the story as a whole is amazing. If you want a YA thriller, this is it. I wanted to finish with a romance because I said I read a lot of romance. Big shout out to The Love Hypothesis and The Spanish Love Deception, but you didn't make it to the end. From Look Up With Love by Mariana Zapata. Made it. When Bisma told me, you have to read this, you have to read it, I'm like, it sounds so bad, like From Look Up With Love. Like, what is that? What is Look Up? And then I read somewhere that it was an ice skating romance. I cannot even talk about it without smiling. It's just the slow burn Look Up, which is the main character. I want one in my life. Can I get myself a Look Up? I also adore our main girl, and she's Filipino, which go Filipinos, you go. I just, if you're looking for a slow burn romance, Mariana Zapata, baby. It's the only book I've read from her, but I heard all her other books are amazing as well. That's pretty much it for my favorites and not so favorites reads of 2021. Let me know in the comments what your favorite books were, because I always pick my recommendations from those. Like, if you liked it that much that is in your top books of 2021, it's going into my list. You made it this far in the video, let's comment the book stack emoji. As always, if you want more content, more bookish content, check out Instagram. I also have an Etsy with bookish stuff, and Goodreads if you want to be friends over there. I don't really know if this is gonna be my last video before New Year, so Merry Christmas, Merry late Christmas. I love you, little fellas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!